Pakistani national nabbed from Poonch sector along the LoC. This is the second Pakistani national in police custody. A Pakistani national has been apprehended from the LoC in the Poonch sector in Jammu and Kashmir. Further investigation is underway. This is the second Pakistani national to be in custody, and earlier another Pakistani national was apprehended in Gurdaspur on May 3rd, 4th intervening night. Another park ranger was also apprehended in Rajasthan. This is breaking news just coming in. Kamaljeet Sandhu joins me on the phone line on this story. Kamaljeet, this is now the second person to be caught in the Jammu and Kashmir area, one caught in Rajasthan. What more do we know?
Well, absolutely. Anita, what we can tell to you, this is the second Pakistani civilian who is in custody now. Indian Army, especially across the line of control, has a heightened sense of vigil, and that is why any sort of illegal intrusion taking place is quickly noticed. And what we saw earlier also, BSF apprehended earlier in Gurdaspur a Pakistani civilian, documents including license and passport, including some sort of Pakistani money was recovered. And then thereafter, what we saw is that the Indian Army has taken custody of this man, and he's being handed over to the Poonch police. But meanwhile, there's a heightened sense of alert. So these are two civilians, and there is this one Pakistani ranger in Rajasthan. Now remember, as far as Pakistan is concerned, Constable Sahu, who had crossed over around 23rd April, is yet to be handed over. So despite holding flag meetings, Pakistan is not being playing ball as far as just a handover is concerned. So at this point of time, when India has custody of 3 of their people, it is obviously a lot of pressure now building up on Pakistan to return Constable Sahu, and obviously in lieu of this inadvertent crossover. But clearly, at this point of time, not only questioning being done, but a checking is done so that nothing suspicious is actually found on it. And then thereafter, there would be a formal, not just an inquiry, but a flag meeting with Pakistan so that it can be taken on further.
Well, Kamaljeet, at the moment, as you just said, a formal inquiry will happen, then flag meeting will happen. And this is now the third person, the third Pakistani national who's been caught on Indian soil near the LoC. But are we looking at deliberate incursions, or are these people who inadvertently strayed into India?
Well, usually what happens is when there is a terror group which infiltrates, there are weapons, there is a modus operandi usually done in the night. But here it is a man with no weapons. When he walks in, it is considered as a civilian. But there is also an aspect about spies being around in that particular area. Obviously, Pakistan at a point of time where India-Pakistan tensions are on escalation. There's every attempt that they could try and send in civilians. But remember, this is obviously a high-risk factor because civilians inadvertently staying can happen from both sides. But clearly, when India has been pursuing the case of Constable PK Sahu, he's a man who's crossed over in Firozpur. On any other normal, usual day, in 2-3 flag meetings, the person is usually handed back. But because the tensions are extremely high, either way, it hasn't happened. And meanwhile, Pakistan has not been coming for the flag meeting in the first place. So they're playing ball, but meanwhile, with number of their civilian as well as Pakistani ranger in custody now, it does seem they have to come to the table. But meanwhile, there is questioning going on, as I said, to find out whether there is no other ploy to this. So clearly a heightened sense of alert, and that is why this inadvertent crossover was quickly seen. He's currently being questioned before being given a clean sheet. But definitely, with Pakistan not coming on talks on the table, it is unlikely that there will be a handover. And if there is any, it will be in lieu of the constable who is in custody of Pakistan.